Hello everyone, this is part 60 of What If Naruto Learned the Secret of Shadow Clone, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Time skip, 10 years after the fall of Kaguya. Naruto, hair longer and pulled back into a ponytail that reached his mid-back, stood back and watched his family work together for the moment. Today was a grand party, and everyone had come together to set things up in the back garden of the Uzumaki compound. Temporary tables were assembled, chairs were carted in by the dozens, and through it all a happy energy hummed through the air. Something he would never get tired of. Incoming. Rushing around his legs with a chair carried over their head, a boy with striking blonde hair with orange highlights and blue eyes raced by. Clad in a more modern take of his old jumpsuit, Naruto laughed as his third oldest was scolded by his mother. A currently pregnant Tayuya sporting a green sundress and long braided hair down to her ankles. Minato, you louse. Watch what you're doing. Sorry mama. Racing away through the tables while deftly avoiding contact with anyone else, Minato was soon out of sight. Coming up on either side of Naruto, his two oldest children made an appearance, having been on the hunt for that particular brother. On his left, his eldest daughter with Fuyuki. Sporting deeper auburn hair but her mother's face and eyes, she would one day be the picture of sophistication. If maybe she could stop being so cold to others outside of the family, much like her namesake. Father, is all this really necessary? Oh come on Yuki-chan, you know dad's gonna say yeah. The eldest son, Ryujin, grinned and linked his hands behind his dark black hair. Though he was the spitting image of Naruto with his own blue eyes, he more often than not got in more trouble than he should. Naruto was still finding it hard to keep him out of his study and away from the training scrolls. Kotohime swore it was just his warrior spirit at play. Naruto reached down and ruffled their hair a bit, happy to see them putting up with all of the extra attention today. You'll be fine. You only turned 10 once. And besides, you've got to look cool for all of your siblings, right? Today was going to be a special day. Each of the kids had worked hard, and had built their own Uzumaki masks, denoting them as seal experts within the clan. Why don't you run along, go find Karen and your mothers, would you? Fuyuki rolled her eyes. You could find them in an instant if you wanted, father. All the more reason for you to up your training. Run along now. Ryujin was already dragging his sister along by the hand, a wide grin on his face. Common, if we hurry maybe we can sneak off to find Auntie Yugito. She's probably napping by the lake again with Auntie Simui. Letting her brother drag her off, Naruto shook his head at their antics before turning back to his task for the moment. Which honestly was just stand around and look pretty while his clones set about being ordered around by the various Uzumaki women. Naruto, honey, save me. Honoka's voice came from his right, prompting Naruto to turn and catch the flying woman that was dumped into his arms. Twisting around to carry her in a bridal hold while sharing a kiss with her, they were met with a host of protests from the children chasing after her. Gross mom. Keep that in the house. My eyes, I can't unsee it. You all need help. Naruto eyed the quintuplets with a grin as he hoisted Honoka in a tighter hold as they formed up in front of them. 4 boys and 1 lone girl who did her best to boss all of them around. Well, at least she'd never have to worry about being bullied, ever. Kaoru, Masami, I hear you got in some trouble with Yukina down at her smithing shop. 2 of the boys, near mirrors of each other with bright red hair and green eyes, winced together. Ah, sorry, one answered while the other fought off the rehousing of another of his brothers. No excuses, make sure to go back and apologize to her properly, all right. Yee's dad. Naruto's eyes tracked to the others, specifically his daughter with Honoka, and Hikari. Will you stop pranking your brothers with truth seals? But it's Foon daddy. Bouncing in place with her hair in pigtails, Hikari was all bubbly personality and easy to read emotions. Though she did have more strength than Naruto could account for. Watching her sling her arm around the neck of one of her Mika brothers to drag him down next to her, plus, Yasuharu would have told me everything without it. I mean, Dad always says you get in less trouble if you tell the truth. Yasuharu wouldn't have a shortage of attention one day, nearly a carbon copy of Naruto himself in the looks department, though with a much quieter personality. Plus, I don't mind, it lets her practice her seals. His remaining brother nudged him in the ribs, you just won't say anything because she knows who you like. Hikari was quick to stomp on his foot, hush Batosai, that's my blackmail, not yours. Dad, look at what Hikari did now. Bouncing in place as the others laughed, Batosai sometimes wished he had a more delicate sister. Like Himawari, she was the cute one. Naruto shook his head though he looked at Honoka happily, I think we need a vacation. Maybe a new set. Oh dear, I was just thinking we could try again for more. I think they could do with more siblings. Honoka could play along, it certainly got the children motivated. Run for it. Mom and Dad are getting all lovey-dovey. Kaoru led the way, all 5 children making a run for it towards the lake. They were quickly joined by a confused but accepting Himawari, dragged along by Hikari. Letting his wife down with a final kiss, Honoka giggled as she glided away, who's watching The Office today? Naruto shrugged, just clones, and maybe Isaribi and Gosu if they haven't buggered off yet. Shaking her head with a smile, Honoka continued her journey back to the house, so just the clones then. Yup. Waving as Honoka disappeared back into the house, Naruto started for the Uchiha house. He should probably make sure Sasuke was still alive, he hadn't seen him in a few days. Waving to a pair of Uzumaki girls, Yuka and Sayuri, he just saw what looked like Kikyo and Sauta in the distance helping to set up several long tables laden with food. Good boy that one. The medium-sized scroll on his back was new though, Naruto would have to spar with him later. Oop. Where do you think you're going? Latching onto his right arm, Naruto was joined by a peaceful-looking Hinata. She had mellowed out her fashion once more as she stepped away from ninja duties. Today saw her in a calf-length blue sundress with an orange apron over the top, not trying to run away. Two soft somethings pressed into him, and Naruto smirked despite himself. Though he paused as a soft babbling reached his ears. Looking over Hinata's shoulder, he could make out a cherubic face and bright blonde hair, something wrong. Leaning into her, Naruto kissed her in the cheek, not at all. Wanna join me in checking up on Sasuke? Oh, that could be fun. Pulling her braided hair back over her shoulder and away from grasping hands, she joined him on his walk. Have you seen our older son? Boruto? Nope. Probably out with the twins. He shouldn't have been surprised when Yugito gave birth to twins eventually. He had been surprised when Sumui asked for one of her own. Either that or planning another attempt to ambush me. Say it isn't so. Hinata giggled as she latched on tighter to Naruto's arm, pulling it further into her warmth. Say, we're going to be all alone soon, should we take the scenic route? With the walk and the warm sun, the swaddled Tenjin on her back would be asleep in minutes. Naruto turned and wiggled his eyebrows at her, oh, have something in mind. Far be it from him to deny a wife. Maybe. Grinning and thinking it over, Naruto didn't miss a beat as he took himself, Hinata and baby Tenjin into the air on a current of wind. Below them the path they were on was engulfed in a spray of water, and he could hear 3 children groaning. We were so close that time. That had to be Boruto. We even enlisted Nata Mama for help. A girl's voice, high and imperious. That had to be twin one from Yugito, Maki. I told you. You used too much chakra Baka Bo. Another boy, twin 2 from Yugito, Nanami. Naruto chuckled as he exchanged a look with Hinata. You traitor. He leaned in to begin tickling her sides, sparking laughter from her as she thrashed about in his grasp. Wait. Wait. Mercy. Mercy. Below them the kids came out of hiding, the older Boruto leading the way and pointing up to his parents, unhand her you fiend. Oh ho ho ho. You want the queen and the young prince. You'll have to best me in combat. Naruto put on his best evil villain laugh as he floated just out of reach of the children who gave chase. This was what he wanted. These little moments with his family. Happy children who knew they were loved and wanted. Children who knew without a doubt that he would always be here for them. Though the fire jutsu that flashed by his head, that he could do without. Oi, who taught you fire techniques? And your mother has Tenjin. You know better. All 3 children froze in place, exchanging looks under the stare from their father. He wasn't angry with them, but he certainly wasn't happy. Nanami ratted the culprit out instantly. Auntie Naruko said it'd help us get you. Floating down to the ground and exchanging a look with Hinata, he vowed to beat the tar out of his sister when she returned next. Welp, you know the drill. Rule breakers spend some time at the library. You get a pass tonight for the party, but I better see you there tomorrow. Hi. Dejected voices for sure, but at least they didn't have to go train with Grandma Sunid. Grandpa Jiraiya always tried to get him to pull pranks on her. Naruto waved him off back towards the house. Go help set up, the party should start up soon. Hi. And then they were gone, leaving Naruto and Hinata alone. Hinata was quick to press herself into her husband. So, now we really are all alone. Babbling and giggling Tenjin didn't count. And there's the wife of mine that can't get enough of me. Naruto grinned as a hand came around to squeeze his butt, and while I can't get enough of you too, you're gonna have to wait. We have a party. No quickie, even a short one. Tenjin will fall asleep soon enough. Hinata pouted slightly, putting on her best puppy dog eyes until Naruto pulled her into a steamy kiss that set her heart aflame. By the time they pulled apart, she was a panting and gooey mess that had to be led along by the hand. Now I really wanna find somewhere to hole up. Later, tonight. Just you and me. Naruto certainly wouldn't complain. Well, maybe Ino as well. She's been looking for an excuse to slow down. More like baby fever had finally hit. Oh, Naruto wasn't going to assume Ino was finally ready for a kid of her own, but he wouldn't put it past her. Playing at Auntie had made her pretty happy the last few years for sure. And she had been keeping busy with various amounts of work back in the city. But he and the others had seen the looks she gave the kids sometimes. Ino gave all the signs of a woman ready for her own. But he wouldn't push her. He'd never do that to any of the girls. Well, on that note, have you seen Temari lately? She should be back within the hour with Ino. A team from Konoha is coming in today with a package. Hinata may be out of ninja work, but she still kept an ear to the ground. Any word from your sister? Naruto looked up as he and Hinata continued back down the road towards the Uchiha house. Where had they said they were going this time? Oh yeah. Last she and Fu checked in, they're bound for somewhere past the land of bears. But they'll be back later for the party. A pregnant Fu is apparently not a lot of fun to travel with. Hinata accepted the arm that snaked around her waist that pulled her into his side. I can only imagine. Letting them fall into a comfortable silence as they could already see Sakura and Amaru sitting together on the back porch of their home, Hinata brought up another idle thought. How goes the exploration of Kaguya's worlds? It's certainly a lot easier when you have the woman herself to guide you along. Naruto had given the fallen goddess access to her power once more after she had proven to truly be loyal to him. She certainly was a big help about the compound, and she was a good teacher to the kids. Just wish she'd stop popping in at random times. Give her a baby or 3, she'll calm down. I think she just likes the practice more. We all enjoy the practice, dear. Sharing a chuckle with Naruto, Hinata placed one hand over the one holding her. No dice on a distraction. You're in a mood today. Yeah, it's been coming and going lately. Naruto would have to remember to have Bar-chan check her over later. Coming into shouting distance of the Uchihas, Naruto raised a hand in greeting. Yo. Sakura. Amaru. Both women raised their hands in greetings, though the gang of dark-haired children that spilled from the house surprised even him. Hinata was quick to abandon him. Wait, not the face. And then he was dragged down under 6 bodies. Walking up to the pair and joining them on the back porch as they watched Naruto play with the Uchiha children, Hinata eyed the currently pregnant Sakura. Another one. We did say we would rebuild the clan. Sakura had no shame in admitting she enjoyed this life. Sure, it was fulfilling to work the hospital and take over the mantle of medical prodigy from Lady Sunid. But Sakura did have another goal as well, rebuilding the Uchiha with Sasuke. How's your sister? Hanabi. Wonderful, though still knocking Konohamaru around whenever possible. At least she isn't fighting with Mogi anymore. Hinata shifted her bundle and cradled her baby in her arms, letting Sakura COO over him easily. Sakura giggled as Amaru moved to save Naruto from the dog pile of children. She finally figured out Mogi was just messing with her. It wasn't fair. How could babies just be this cute? Hinata shook her head as Naruto started juggling children through the air on wind currents, prompting Amaru to move faster. No, actually. Apparently they've come to an agreement. That was a surprise to Sakura, blinking slowly as she digested that. Huh. So like you and Ino back in the day. Somewhat yes. More peacefully at the least. Hinata was sure that Hanabi would be fine. Things had certainly changed for the better in recent years after that had had a conversation with Hiashi about the Hyuga clan and their future. That had been invigorating. How's Sasuke doing? Recovering. Sakura didn't elaborate, and Hinata finally noted the odd limp Amaru had as she scolded Naruto and her children together. Seeing the world's strongest man on his knees before an angry mother was certainly something. Almost time for the party. Hinata nodded, a little later yes, just wanted to make sure you'd be there. Sakura smiled and nodded, running a hand through her short pink hair, wouldn't miss it. I'll wake him up in a bit. Sounds good. So, I heard Shizune and Kakashi finally have children on the way. Sakura was all grins as leaned into ranted about her favorite work, triplets actually, you wouldn't believe how ecstatic Shizune is. Though soon it could do to relax a bit. You'd almost think she was going to give birth herself with how worried she is. Sakura shared a laugh with Hinata before looking back out into the yard where Naruto and the children promised to be good. I also hear Iruka and Naruto dragged Kakashi out to get absolutely trashed. Oh, and they're banned from En's place for a month. Apparently they went on a right tear. Someone questioned just how much Iruka could drink. Apparently someone else said something vulgar about Samui and well. No one had to guess how the night went from there. Naruto was back up as the lecture ended, racing into the house with a smirk on his face. Get up, ya lazy bastard. We got stuff to do. And then he was gone, leaving all the women and children alone. Amaru said it best, that's one of the men who saved the world. That their children raced into the house after him was ignored. So much for promises. Sakura sighed and nodded, that'd be one of them. Two idiotic peas in a pod. There was shouting from upstairs, what sounded like an elephant moving through her bedroom, before both men came tumbling out of the window to crash and tumble about the yard. Yup, just made for each other. It was going to be a long day. And on your left you will see the Grand World Arena, built to host events from around the world. From the ninja chunin exams to the elemental dances hailing from spring and wind and even sports festivals. Today even there is. Tuning out the tour guide's words, Konohamaru watched the city float by as he and his students rode along in the elevated train line. After some time and further upward expansion of Azushio's capital city, Satu had their mass transit improved. Even here they could just make out the expanded and improved Uzumaki Tower, now nearly 24 stories taller than before and hosting several airships docked along its span. Someone poking his side pulled him from his thoughts. What's that? You're not supposed to interrupt Sensei when he gets all broody like that. He's probably thinking about Lady Hyuga again. Kimiko was a oddity of an aberrame. Loud and chatty and never knew when to read the room. Konohamaru wouldn't admit to her being his favorite. The poker in question sitting next to him, a grinning boy by the name of Kidomaru, scratched at his facial tattoos. But I have a questions for Sensei and the tour guide couldn't answer me. Focusing on the Inuzuka and noticing now that a few of the train goers were also looking at them with interest, Konohamaru sighed and sat up straighter. What's the question? Is it true that Uzumaki-sama blew up a biju? Naruto had told that story, hadn't he? And Scary Big Sis did confirm it. Well, yeah. Uzumaki-sama did do that, yeah. A long time ago. Kidomaru turned to their last team member, pointing a clawed finger the other boy's way across the table. See, told ya. Pay up, Haru. Haru did just that, pulling free a wallet and tossing over a few ryo. That's just insane. No one should have that much power. A member of the Hyuga clan, the boy had grown up with weird rumors surrounding the Uzumaki clan. From they were scary masters of seals that could rip the world apart, to their clan leader was a narcissistic pervert who stole away girlfriends and wives. You were trained by Uzumaki-sama, weren't you, Sensei? Big bro was a friend. I did pick up a few things from him though. Smirking and holding out a hand, Konohamaru produced a spiraling ball of chakra, a perfect Rasengan coming to life for a moment, before quickly fading away. It's been a while since I've been free to visit him and his family though. I'm glad we'll have some time on this mission to hang around. Forcing the man to scoot over, a beautiful blonde in black and purple took up the free space with ease. Well, been a while, hasn't it, Konohamaru? And look, you're all grown now, even have a team. Ino was smirking as she slung an arm over his shoulders, And what's this I hear about you two timing Hanabi? Blushing but knowing better than to try and pull away, Konohamaru let the Uzumaki woman have her way. It's not like that. We're just working things out is all. That's not what I heard, Ino giggled before noting the children were all staring at her. What's up, kiddos? Wah, so pretty. Kimiko accepted the smack to the head from Kidomaru easily. What she is. Big sis, what are you to Konohamaru? You're not his foreign girlfriend, are you? Laughing and waving her off, Ino leaned back and relaxed as the train began to slow to a stop at the next station. No number. Me and Konohamaru just go way back. He's my husband's little tag-along. I wasn't a tag-along. Sure seemed that way. You've even copied his relationship style. And some of his jutsu. You show the kids the shay. Armed with that, what are you doing here, Lady Uzumaki? Konohamaru didn't need that tidbit of information to reach his students. Oh, you know, I got word that a cute team had shown up and I wanted to see who it was. That had all three children locking eyes on the blonde, Haru taking the lead. Aren't you a Yamanaka? Former, Uzumaki Ino, at your service. You here for a delivery, right? Ino watched all of them nod quickly before standing and motioning for them to follow her. All right, come with me, I'm your contact and escort today. Leading them through the crowd as the train came to a halt on an elevated platform, Ino grinned at the group from over her shoulder. First time bringing your team to Izushio-ko. How are ya liking it? Kidomaru was quick to raise his hand. I hear you guys use robots to patrol your streets. And your waters are patrolled by monsters. Ino hummed and weaved through the crowd as they descended from the terminal to the ground level. Well, not robots specifically, but we do have an autonomous police force. As for the monsters, well, that's mostly true. Though if you call the Sanbi or Gyuki monsters to their faces they might have some choice words for ya. Nudging her teammate to shush, Kimiko raised her hand. Is it true some of the strongest in Izushio are all women? Smirking as they crossed a busy street, traffic stopped by a stoplight, Ino nodded sagely. Remember, young student, women can and will be sneaky. We just let the boys have all the flashy fun. So cool. Konohamaru sat back while Ino fielded questions from his students, silently marveling at all the lights and sounds of the bustling city. It certainly wouldn't be hard to hide a ninja village within its confines at this rate. He loved Konoha and its more natural setting, but Izushio had a certain charm to it. Plus, the place was well kept and clean in a way most big cities weren't. Reaching the center hub of the city where the Uzumaki Tower sat and rose above every other building around it, Ino led the way before pausing for a moment before the Uzumaki Monument. These season's blooms were a mixture of specially bred blue and orange flowers. A certain shard of glass twinkling in the sunlight against the black stone. Clapping her hands together, she offered a quick prayer before moving on. Konohamaru did much the same, even as his students read the inscription in gold. He was rather impressed with them as they all followed his lead silently before catching back up. There was a lot to say about them, but at least they were a respectful bunch. But he did turn to Ino as a man held the door open for them as they passed through the glass front of the main building. So, anything new going on around here? Well, we're looking to start up an expedition soon across the Great Sea. Naruto and Yugito are actually heading that up. They plan on taking 2 airships. Ino didn't really care, she had a plan of her own with Naruto to accomplish soon. Another more secret project about to be finished. Across the Great Sea, huh? What do you think they'll find? Whatever they find, it'll be something new and exciting at least. Ino pressed the elevator call button on the wall, considering the foursome for a moment before shrugging. How's Asuma doing? Pretty good, he and Kurenai finally figured things out completely so he's settled down. Considering retiring actually, before Shikaku offers him the chair. Probably made a bit of a mess when Tsunade-sama left her. That's putting it mildly. Wanna trade her back? Konohamaru ushered the kids into the elevator as the doors opened, letting Ino choose the floor for them. Ino shook her head. You're gonna have to fight the Uzumaki kids on that one. She's their favorite grandma after all. Well, it was worth a shot. The doors opened and the group made it out to the cage's office level. The floor space was full of desks as secretaries and functionaries rushed about working through miscellaneous work and reports. It's certainly lively here. Naruto made it a priority to put off all but the most important work to everyone else. Frees him up to both be our cage and spend time with the family. Clones probably help. Clones always help. Ino waved to the secretary of the day, the teal-haired Kian, before throwing open the doors with ease, and were back. Temari sat at the desk, oddly alone in the office short of a pair of clones off to the side playing cards. Ino smirked, having an idea of just what was interrupted because a certain someone was not supposed to be in that chair. Sue, he put you in the chair today, did he? What did he have to promise you? That's my secret. Twitching and keeping her eyes firmly on the group, Temari's joint Suna and Azushio headband was proudly displayed on her forehead. So, Team 7 from Konoha, you have something for us. Konohamaru nodded, coming forward and removing a scroll from his Jonin vest. Here ya are, 1C rank delivery, completed on time. Temari chuckled as she took the scroll from him, unrolling it and watching as in a puff of smoke, a rather large cask was deposited on the desk. The fact that it even groaned under the new weight had her blinking owlishly before sighing and resealing it all away. Soonad. Ino chuckled as she sat on the edge of the desk. How long has she been doing this now? How long has she been bribing Naruto? Temari huffed and considered that, she ever say just what she's offering Naruto that has him agreeing to her lunacy? She never says. Ino shrugged while both women wondered about it. Oh, guess I'll take that to the house then. Temari handed over the scroll as the Konoha team watched them banter back and forth. All right, I'll be along in a minute, just a couple of things to finish here. Ino leaned into her personal space, just close enough to see under the desk as well, and the cheeky clone there, sure. I'll leave you to it. Ino popped back up to her feet, pointing back out towards the door. Let's get going, Team 7, we have another stop to make. Only slightly confused as Ino started to push him towards the door, Konohamaru grunted at her bossiness. What's the rush? You wanna see Naruto or not? Kimiko waved her hands in the air excitedly. We get to meet the Azukage. Let's go. Let's go. Watching the group leave, Temari reached down and grabbed the clone by the hair. You ass, I told you it was risky. But it's more fun this way, Mari-chan. Well, you aren't wrong about that. So, I'll get back to it then. Huffing and seeing the other clones eyeing her, Temari relented. Hurry up, I wanna get back to the compound and the real you soon. She had been having an itch lately that needed to be seriously scratched. Yes, ma'am. B. Karen grinned as she stood on the upper level of the stadium. Of all things, a baseball game was slated today. Hey, and a crowd was certainly starting to packing in for it. Though what had her here was a different matter altogether. Someone tugged on her hand, and she looked down to her left. Yes, Rengoku. The blonde and red-haired toddler tugged his younger sister in front of him, the younger girl looking ready to pass out, Kushin is sleepy. Smiling softly and picking her daughter up into her arms, Karen nods and retakes Rengoku's hand. We're almost done here, and then we'll return home. Idly she made sure that the barrier she had put up was still holding. While it wasn't a particularly breezy day, best not to have an accident with children involved. Okay, Mama. Lady Uzumaki, the transmitter system is online, everything shows green. Turning back to a pretty-looking technician working on an electrical panel under an antenna array, Karen nods and walks her way. Still need my code then? Yes, ma'am. The tech leaned back as Karen bent down to quickly input a personal access code. When finished, they all could hear the whirring of machinery coming to life around them. That'll be that, ma'am. Sorry about this. Karen waved her off as she stood to her full height. It's no worry, this was a quick thing. Turning her eyes to look out over the ocean, she spotted Isaribi riding the waves with a happy-looking Gosu. Hefting her daughter a little higher in her right arm, she squeezed her son's hand. Ready, dear? Of course, Mama. With a thought, they were gone, dropping down by the lake near the Uzumaki compound. Awesome. Rengoku would never get tired of that. When do I get to learn the Hiraishin, Mama? When you have the chakra to produce a base-level Rasengan, then you can start training with it. Karen paused, looking around before spotting a horse-sized Kurama basking in the sun on his side. Along his back were a gang of smaller children, most likely Honoka's kids. Walking over and letting Rengoku join the napping group, Karen nuzzled the fox between the ears. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Quiet, woman, the children are sleeping. Ooh, so touchy. Karen looked over to his middle, seeing a slightly smaller Matatabi curled around a trio of bright blonde kids. Watching after Yugito's and Simui's kids. Where are the bombastic duo? They've gone on a hunt for Naruto. Oh dear, no wonder the kid scattered. Continuing her petting of the prickly beast with long and adorable ears, Karen smiled and turned to walk away. You're such a softie, Kurama. Only for the children. And that Anko woman, she gives me snacks. Yeah, people are not usually considered snacks. I'm not a people. Rolling her eyes, Karen made for the main house, sure that party preparations were well underway at this point. And stop letting the kids ride you around like a horse, it scares the shit out of Kikyo. Or at least stop doing it around the city. If she kept getting reports about mythical creatures from concerned citizens, she was going to turn Kurama into a mascot. No promises. Continuing on her way and adjusting the limp toddler in her arms, Karen started up the path away from the lake. She could just make out the party area at the rear of the compound along with the milling of people and clones both. She wondered if she had time to put down Kushina for a nap and maybe scamper off to the Uzumaki library. She wanted to find reference materials for a new project. Derailing her thoughts, a rather tan pair appeared just on the front steps of their home. Fu and Naruto had returned, Naruto carrying a pouting Fu while laughing up a storm. See, I told ya we'd be fine. Setting off a trap just for the fun of it is not what I would call a good idea. Fu bopped Naruto on the forehead before said woman let her down. Spotting Karen, she waved and shuffled over. Hey Karen, the party hasn't started yet, has it? Nope, you're still early. Naruto groaned but turned to follow along after them. I knew we had time. You may not flash back and go beat those bandits senseless. Fu turned Naruto's way, or no fun times till this child is out of me. I'll be good. Karen shook her head. How far did you get this time? Naruto shrugged as they walked through the pristine halls of the Uzumaki Manor, just outside of Bear Country. Chasing a rumor about a weird ruin that appeared out of nowhere. Any chance it's connected to the Otsutsuki? Never know. I set a marker. I'm gonna convince Naruto and Sasuke to come with me next time. Naruto had been having a blast of a time with all her nieces and nephews over the years. And sure, she and Fu had finally decided it was time to have some of their own, but she would die before she let anything happen to them. Some wannabe gods coming to destroy their world. Nah, she'd end them. Having ascended the stairs to the second floor and made it to the hall containing most of the children's room, Karen waved the girls off. Get cleaned up, and don't take too long. Fu nodded. Yes ma'am. Her hand snaked out, grabbed Naruto by the collar. That was directed at you. No running off to fight Naruto right away. Oh fiend, twist my arm, why don't you? I'll twist a couple of somethings if you aren't careful. B. The party was in full swing, and while Naruto watched on as his eldest was showered with presents, he was accompanied at the moment by a calm Sasuke and a upbeat Naruto. Leaning against the largest of shade trees in the area, a grand willow, Naruto didn't miss Ryujin running up to them with Fuyuki in tow, both with their masks on but to the sides of their heads. Several of the family were watching him, most with mirth in their eyes while his wives looked more than a little exasperated. Ryujin was the first to skid to a stop in front of the three elder ninja. Dad. How about a spar? Ryujin had demonstrated his mask's abilities. Exceptional wind control and patterned in white and green, he could nearly fly just as well as Naruto could, all without hand seals. Naruto hummed at that as Naruto chuckled next to him, answering in his stead, don't you think it's a little early for that squirt? Why not spar with one of your brothers? Waving his arms to his sides as Fuyuki shook her head, Ryujin pointed to the lake. Nu, between you. It's been forever since you've been back. And it's our birthday. We're in charge. Turning worried eyes suddenly to Fuyuki, Ryujin whispered to her, right sis? It's our day. Fuyuki nodded once. Our word is law today. Her own all-white Oni mask glinted with an odd shine. She was leaning into her own ice motif with a masks capable of building blizzards in an instant. Though she was still low on chakra to hold it for long. Naruto exchanged looks with Sasuke and Naruto. How about it? I owe Naruto a beating anyway. Naruto held out a hand instantly. No Biju mode. Sasuke also held out a hand as well. Let's keep it to taijutsu and kenjutsu, and basic ninjutsu. You're only saying that because that's your specialty. Duh. Rolling his eyes, Naruto looked out over the crowd and spotted two more people he figured could join in. Raising his voice and cupping his hands around his mouth, he applied just a smidgen of chakra. Hey Isaribi. Jiraiya. How about we put on a show for the kids? You all versus me. Down in the crowd and settled in nicely at a table, Jiraiya pulled himself away from Tsunade. Leave me out of it, you brat. I'm old. Tsunade nudged him in the ribs. Oh, you've got some fight in you still, don't ya, you old goat. I'll give ya some brownies if ya give it a go. On her knee, a giggling Kushina bounced with glee. Tsunade was always happy to give the girls a break and play grandma. I'm in. Isaribi was already standing with a huff, giving Gosu a quick kiss. As you wish, Naruto-sama. Just Naruto Isa. N.A. Ru. 2. Of course, Naruto-sama. This could be fun, she supposed. Hinata was the first up, clapping her hands together to get everyone's attention. She should have known it would end this way. Alright, if you would like to watch, let's head down to the lakeside. Honoka, Karen, let's set up a barrier. Honoka hurried her children off to Kikyo. Okay. Karen was quick to join her, a smirk on her face. What? I hear you're thinking about more. Oh, what big ears you have. They would be having a conversation about this while they set up for sure. Back with the birthday children, Naruto was winking at them as he walked forward to ruffle their hair. Keep an eye out, you might see something cool. Naruto was already dreading this. Sarah, you're gonna take it easy on me, right? It was an accident. You accidentally taught my kids fire jutsu. Oh, right, that. No, realizing she had just been caught doing something else she wasn't supposed to do. She offered Naruto a prayer, mercy. I'm so beating you like a drum. Naruto gave her a malicious grin before flashing away, bouncing on his toes in the middle of the lake. Mentally he linked up with Kurama, still connected though the Biju was allowed some freedom of movement. Hey, you want in on this? Nah, I'm comfy where I am. You lazy ass. What happened to the battle maniac I grew up with? You had kids. Blame yourself. I blame you for screwing with my body, or did you think I wouldn't notice that? You had me experience a second puberty, you sadist. Sleepy. Hey, don't ignore me when you get caught. Answer my, you rancid furball. Hey. Naruto was already turning to face where he could see Kurama lazing about with nearly a dozen of his kids. I know where you sleep, asshole. I'll strangle you with one of your tails. Oh, Naruto's burning out already. Sasuke's voice pulled Naruto from his thoughts, looking up to see the group of Sasuke, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Isaribi standing before him. In the distance he could see Hinata, Honoka, and Karen at the water's edge before a grand and slightly blue barrier sprung to life. Welp, guess it was time then. The family was already setting up chairs and getting comfortable on the grass. Best put on a good show then. Naruto stretched his arms above his head, bending this way and that. Well, with these rules, it should be a good show at least. Isaribi summoned the Samehada, scales rubbing against one another in excitement and producing an ear-tingling keening sound. Oh no, those rules are just for you. Wait, what? Naruto paused as the group started to spread out, Jiraiya summoning Ma and Pa with a thought. Hold on. Sasuke's eyes switched, burning into his eternal Mangekyo with ease. Oh, you'll be fine. Finally, some payback. I didn't agree to this. Fuyuki's voice carried over the wind, amplified most likely by Kotohime. Yes, you did, father. Good luck. Oh, for the love of, Kubakiriboko was up and over his head, defending against a downward strike from Isaribi. Water sprayed up all around them in a wide circle, before he launched her away with some effort. Seriously. Can I at least use the Renegan? Naruto burned through the wall of water, hands trailing fire as she made a trio of clones. No way. A trio of grand fireballs fell on his position, the detonation sending steam high into the air and concealing what was happening. Though the onlookers were treated to Naruto being ejected from the smoke with a fist imprint on her face, I said I was sorry. Naruto burst from the steam, riding on air currents as he skirted the water and dodged through Phoenix fire from Sasuke. I'm saving you for last, brother. HMMP, think you'll make it that far. Grinning as Isaribi again appeared before him, they set to work exchanging blows. Kubakiri came around, whistling and trailing vapor only to clash and bounce away from Samehada. Twirling and instead bringing around a downward diagonal slash, Naruto conceded that Isaribi had been working hard. Samehada was once more there to block him with a keening ring, before said weapon was reset and sent spearing towards his chest. Whoop. Flipping over the woman, his downward strike was dodged as she released the chakra at her feet in order to dive into the waters below to escape him. Well shit. And there was Pervy Sage with more fire, Pa to provide oil while Ma was expanding with wind. Give me a break. I've got brownies riding on the line here, brat. The combination technique left the trio, gouging a furrow through the water that took a minute to refill, while superheated steam rose in the air, nearly clear with the amount of heat saturating it. Naruto was nowhere to be seen. But Jiraiya was already jumping away, a massive Rasengan passing through where he had been. Bigger doesn't mean better, Naruto. Good thing I have both, huh? Another Rasengan formed in his left hand, swirling with what looked like black fire. Ever combine fire and earth in one of these? The attack detonated, liquid magma exploding forth and scattering the combatants for a moment's reprieve. Naruto was there, standing in the middle of the slowly sinking field of fire, though with a harsh stomp earth rose from the bottom of the lake to fortify his little island while he bounced his weapon on his shoulder. And you think you could keep up with me? Sasuke's form snapped purple, a more condensed Susanoo covering his form with ease. Welp, guess it's time to up the stakes. Naruto had to agree, leaking black chakra that began to coat her skin as well. Yup. Tag team him. Isaribi was already dashing forward. I'll keep him busy. Her first thrust was blocked and she shared a manic grin with Naruto. Sorry about this, Naruto-sama. Don't apologize when we're having so much fun. Kubakiri whistled through the space Isaribi used to be, and then Samehada was there, grazing past his chest as he twisted away. A shallow wound opened up and shredded his orange t-shirt, but it healed near instantly. Let's go. Ducking under her returning swing, a palm thrust to her midsection sent her flying away trailing a rooster tail of water. He always admired that she had no qualms about fighting stronger opponents. He had no rest though, as Jiraiya was once more there with frog-style taijutsu. Faster than he remembered, Naruto was stuck blocking with Kubiriki and dodging away when he could, and don't think I don't know what Tsunades brownies really are. Hands off, you have enough, brat. We could share. More oil, pa. On it. More super-powered fire was born, burning through the space Naruto had been. Jiraiya huffed as Naruto floated above them, a new Rasengan trailing wind and lightning. The keening wail from the wind was beginning to pick up. Sonny boy, that's a problem. Naruto was forced to stop his latest attack, Naruto in his face to smash a fist into a blocking Kubiriki. Black chakra exploded forth to further knock him away, and Naruto took in his sister's slit eyes. You and that grump come to an understanding. Nope, just some seals and little regard for that ass. Hands covered in what looked like scales, Naruto noted the dusting of black scales around her eyes. Besides, anything to keep from getting tossed around by you. A roundhouse kick caught Naruto in the chest, sending him away to bounce along the water. Rolling and catching himself, he considered everyone arching towards him before sighing and reaching out with his chakra. Deeper, past where Kurama lay, lower than the Rinnegan, to his very soul. And pulled. Sasuke was the first to race forward, new version of his Susanoo hoisting his chakra shield and chakra coating his Chokuto. Hurry up, he's planning something. Already did. Naruto was there, eyes shining in a way Sasuke hadn't seen before. Hold this. His fist flashed forward, and Sasuke's technique broke in an instant as he arched away over the lake's surface like a missile. Touching down on the water's surface with nary a ripple of disturbed surface, Naruto took in his friends and opponents with a smile. Su, give me handicaps will you? Naruto was already shooting his way, wind and fire mixing in her lungs, dragon's fire. A mixture of wind and fire amplified by her beast's chakra spewed forth from her mouth, a wave of destruction that would have flash-boiled the lake if Naruto hadn't stepped in. Which he did, anchoring the Kubakiri in the air with magnet release in order to free up his hands to weave seals into the very air around him. White seals burned against black fire, and then it was gone as if it never was. Kubakiri was back in his hand, body taking on a light glow as he raced ahead. Well, wasn't that cute? Mercy. Mercy. Another punch to her midsection sent Naruto skipping along the same path Sasuke had taken, leaving Isaribi and Jiraiya standing alone before Naruto, who was already bouncing on his toes. So, how about it? Continue. This felt amazing. No wonder Kaguya and her like sought after this for so long. He felt like he could split the planet in two at this rate. Isaribi didn't care that Sasuke and Naruto had been tossed away like so much trash, already coming forward with Samehada mid-swing. Let's do this. Her sword clashed against her lord's. Her arms rattled, her ears rung, and she noted that his weapon didn't even budge. It was like hitting an iron wall. Letting Isaribi dance away, his next swing of Kubakiri tore a hole through the water, sending up a wave that obscured his view. Not that she cared. Bursting from the water under his feet and thrusting Samehada towards his face, he watched her weapon trail by, a thin wisp of his chakra being eaten before he reached out into the gap to grab hold of her wrist. Seeing the shock there, Naruto winked at her. You know, Kisame wasn't wrong, you really are amazing Isa. No hitting on my wife. Gosu's voice rung out, much to Isaribi's embarrassment. They hadn't exactly announced they'd be getting married yet. Welp, guess the cat was out of the bag. Naruto chuckled at Isaribi's flush and tossed her away, watching her bounce and roll with her momentum and freeing him up to face off against Jiraiya and the elders. Welp, you ready for this? Pa whistled while Jiraiya sank deeper into his sage mode. Woo boy. You've gone and stepped in it now, haven't you? It's a gift. Naruto swayed with the ebb and flow of the world, before finally locking in on Jiraiya with a smirk. I won't rough you up too badly. I'm sure Tsunade would miss your pretty face. Dropping his transformation in an instant, Jiraiya tossed Ma and Pa his way. Nope. I quit. I really am too old for this. He wasn't about to get beaten like that in front of the grandkids. Nope. Let Sasuke and the others get tossed around like rag dolls. Crossing his arms and cackling, Naruto dropped his connection to the very fabric of reality with ease. Give him handicaps, would they? Ha! He was the ultimate rule breaker. Now though he was on fire and he needed a different type of fun. Turning and seeing the girls starting to drop the barrier, Naruto flashed back into their midst, scooping up his kids first. How about it, Fuyuki? Raijin. That good enough? Raijin bounced up onto his shoulders. That was awesome. You were all woos. Bam. Kaboom. Laughing and rocking back and forth, he was reminded of the man he wanted to be. His dad was just so cool. Fuyuki flushed but nodded. Not in front of everyone, father, put me down. Not that she didn't like the attention, but people were present. They didn't deserve to see this. Laughing and putting the kids down, Naruto clapped his hands, fresh as a daisy and not at all like he had just been in a battle. Well, that was exciting. Arms snaked around his shoulders from behind, and I wondered when you would show up. I missed something interesting. Can we have a repeat? Let's battle again. You and I, full power this time. Kaguya floated there behind him, all smiles and a slightly less pale complexion at the behest of the Foxton girls. Naruto could already see most of the women shaking their heads. Maybe another day, in a pocket dimension. Pouting but accepting it, Kaguya touched down between Hinata and Honoka, a different sort of match then. Her arms snaked around Hinata's and Honoka's waists. That both women let her and flushed themselves had Naruto grinning. Well, who was he to say no to an offer like that? Wait, time out. Jiraiya was there, holding up a hand and grinning all the while. What the world was that earlier? Naruto hummed as Rengoku came to pull on his hand to grab his attention. What did I do? You mean beat you like a dog? He flatly ignored his son now climbing up his back. Already more of the kids were running his way. No, you shameless heathen. That power you tapped into. That wasn't Kurama. Naruto shrugged, left arm now being used as a fleshy jungle gym by Yugito's twins. Oh, that would be me bending a portion of reality to my will. Kaguya nodded along with a happy hum, only to be expected of my husband. Here she squeezed Hinata and the others tighter as the crowd began to head back towards the house. Now, about my offer. Jiraiya was sinking to his knees, missing Tsunade coming over to rub his shoulders. Reality. He can bend reality now. Just what kind of BS is that? It's a cheat. It's cheating is what it is. Tsunade sighed and started to drag her husband up the hill. Come now, let's get some sake and yarn, we can forget how badly you got beaten. Does it count if it's against Akami? It doesn't. No, of course it doesn't. Everyone tuned out the Toad Sage's ramblings. They usually started up after a spar with Naruto anyway. With a shake of his body, all of Naruto's kids hanging off of him went flying in mad giggles to be caught by air currents. Carried off to the respective mothers as Naruto stood there with his hands on his hips. Well, I think things are just perfect. Naruto noted Naruko trying to slink by, receiving her own consolation from Fu. A finger stabbed out her way. Don't think I've forgotten your coming beating. Naruko made a run for it. It's not my fault. I'm just the doting auntie. Naruto gave chase. We agreed no fire before 13. Come here and take your lumps. Mercy. Hinata sighed as she led the remaining group back towards the house, never a dull moment with the Uzumaki clan. Kaguya hummed sagely, life would be much too boring otherwise. Honoka watched Naruto run off, a twinkle in her eye, wouldn't want that now. Maybe another set wouldn't be so bad after all. She talked to Sakura and Karen later. An explosion rang out, and everyone was treated to the sight of Naruto flipping through the air. I'm just a good auntie. Naruto was there flying after her, a massive Rasengan trailing several multicolored orbs held above him. I'm gonna give you a good beating, you nomad. Yup. All in all, a normal Uzumaki day. So, where are you taking us today, beloved? It was rare for Naruto to ask all of the girls to leave the kids with the Uzumaki girls and come with him alone somewhere. Rare and usually fun. But his demeanor didn't seem like this was that sort of trip. Hinata walked next to him, eyes searching him quietly. Is everything alright? Naruto grinned and nodded along. Of course, things have never been better. Though it was getting late, he had promised that this would be a quick trip. Not something to worry the kids over, though he didn't want them tagging along. Just wanted to show ya a project of mine I've been working on. Well, with some help from Ino-chan and Kaguya. That perked Karen's interest. A project. Yup. Super secret stuff. Honoka huffed as Kotohime put a finger to her lips in thoughts. He's been playing with time again. Nearly tripping, Naruto continued on with some forced confidence. Well, sorta. Kotohime shared a look with Mei, flashed in by Naruto halfway through the party. Think we should worry? Naruto darling wouldn't bring us to something dangerous. So we should be alright. Mei wasn't worried in the slightest. Naruto was too overprotective to even consider endangering them, even on accident. Kaguya floated above them, the picture of serenity. We are but goddesses before the Great One. All will be well. Ino snagged Hinata and Tayuya both. Common, this is exciting. We don't take many chances to get away from the kids like this. Puffing out her chest, Ino smirked. Besides, who knows what lurid things Naruto and us can get up to out here. Hinata reached over and poked her friend in the ribs. You've been insufferable ever since you've filled out. Puffing her chest out a bit more, Ino's smirk grew. I told you I'd be your match one day. Feeling catty, Hinata pressed her own chest out, heavy after childbirth. Let's remember, you still have some way to go. Gravity will be your downfall. Hinata actually reached behind her to rub her lower back. Honestly, you aren't wrong. The group finally came upon the altar where Zetsu had once been imprisoned. Naruto pausing to turn and face all of them at once. So, ready? Tayuya looked around at the others before nodding. Well, Whiskers, what have you got to show us? She was still upset none of the kids had his cute whisker marks. It was unfair. Holding up a hand, Naruto snapped his fingers and the world around them shifted. With a whisper they found themselves in a wide circular space. Nearly 30 meters across, it looked like a smaller arena built from gray stone. Above them was a bright night sky, full of stars and constellations that none of the Foxton women had ever seen. But it was still bright, even without a moon present. The arena walls around them were lined with doors, all closed with blank nameplates on them. Standing up a bit straighter, Naruto held his hands out to them. So, actually this idea came from Inohime. Smiling as said woman preened a bit, Naruto continued. I thought about, well, we're all going to be pretty long-lived. Why not go exploring? See the sights from time to time. So, I built this space and these doors. Somewhere in between worlds. Somewhere we can bug off and see new worlds, other dimensions where humanity has taken a different path than us. Karen was already holding up a hand. What was that part about being long-lived? She latched onto the part Naruto had seemed to want to gloss over. Coughing into a hand, Naruto pressed his fingers together as a wave of nervousness passed through him. Oh well. You know how Uzumaki are long-lived, right? Seeing the group nod along, Naruto continued, and that those seals you all have tattooed on yourselves also connects you to me. More nods. Sarah, my experimenting with chakra connections and tapping into the fabric of space itself has kinda augmented my already impressive vitality. Kurama figured with just my sage training and him I'd probably live close to 1,000 years or so, give or take a century. But after my fiddling around, he says I've effectively stopped aging. Ino was already holding up a hand as she could literally feel minds freezing around her, and what does that mean for us? Well, you're connected to me at the soul level. So, you've all quit aging as well. Not to mention some healthy playing around by Kurama and the Matatabi both. Ino took that in, listening to a few of the girls muttering and thinking it over before bouncing in place once. So, I'm going to be young and beautiful forever, score. Honoka's eye bored into Naruto's own, and the kids. Me and Kurama are pretty sure once they hit maturity, so long as they don't get themselves killed they'll have the same benefits. Naruto had checked that little result right away, not liking the idea of outliving his kids and watching them die. He would have figured out how to turn it off had that been the case. Kaguya hummed and floated down to snag Naruto tightly, a Kami born indeed. So, where shall we go first? This was a conclusion she had seen from the moment they crossed blades, so to speak. Only the strongest could best her. And only another god could best a goddess. Silent up till now, Temari raised a hand, hold it. Seeing all eyes on her, she pointed at Naruto directly. So we can go anywhere in existence. Seeing Naruto nod slowly, she smirked, does that mean we can leave people places too? 'Cause if we can find a planet full single women I'd love to leave Kankuro there. He needs the help. Getting a laugh out of all of the women, Temari sighed. So, they were functionally immortal. That would take some getting used to. Tayuya is worried about one more bit, that does mean, no matter what we do, after a while we're going to have to leave. This world would probably get tired of a family of undying rulers. Naruto nods, standing tall before the others. That's the other reason for this. I figure, when our time should logically be up, we can find new homes for ourselves. Explore, see what the universe has to offer. Give this world a chance to move on without us. And hey, who knows, maybe come back and visit sometime down the line. Stepping forward, Mei had one last question, what about the Otsutsuki? The vicious grin that grew on Naruto's face made something in her quiver in a pleasant way. Oh, I have something for them. Kaguya, we can hunt them down now, right? On your order, my love. We can track them down at your leisure. Kaguya happily accepted the hug from Naruto. So, there you have it. Naruto watched them all with a smile, we're immortal. We can travel through dimensions, and this world won't have to worry about the Otsutsuki for long. Not after I get done with them. Looking around to everyone else, and seeing the gears starting to turn in positive directions, it was Hinata who seemed to sum up the thoughts as everyone turned eyes to Naruto. Grinning in a way she hadn't in a long while, Hinata felt some new excitement reach her heart, so. I guess then, where to first? A vacation home on a different world sounded exciting. That will be all for this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos, goodbye.